things, and I'll put it on the record. We're here to the case, State of Ohio versus James Fair. He pled not guilty by reason of insanity to a 3-count indictment issued by the Stark County Grand Jury on June 3rd, 2025. The indictment alleged in count 1 aggravated robbery, a felony of the first degree, felonious assault, a felony of the second degree, felonious assault with a firearm specification. At this time, the parties have stipulated to a December 3rd, 2025 report of Dr. Robert K. DeVries, Ph.D., who was asked and called upon to evaluate Mr. Fair's mental status at the time of the alleged offense. Specifically, he evaluated Mr. Fair's mental status on June 27, 2025 in order to assess the presence of a mental disease or mental defect. Further, such a mental disease or defect prevented Mr. Fair from appreciating the wrongfulness of his actions. All right, the state, would you like to call your first witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would call Officer Johnson with the Canton Police Department.
You tell me swear to testify to the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Good afternoon, officer. I'm Frank Personi, the judge assigned to the case. The rules are pretty simple. You can just speak loud enough so we can all hear slow enough. If you need a glass of water or anything, you let me know, okay? All right, go ahead.
Sir, when you're ready, can you please state your name and spell your last name for the court reporter?
It's Philip Johnson, Johnsson.
And where do you currently work?
City of Canton Police Department.
How long you worked for the City of Canton Police Department?
About 13 years.
And have you ever worked anywhere else in your career?
I worked for Waynesburg PD for about 7 years.
And what was your most recent job with the Canton Police Department?
Prior to this year, I was a detective for approximately 3.5 years.
Could you just explain to the court some of the duties and responsibilities as a detective with the Canton Police?
Yeah, I would respond to active calls that required my assistance. I also followed up on cases that were assigned to me, mostly financial crimes, but every now and then we would do cases like this.
And were you working as a detective with the Canton Police on June 27th, 2025?
Yes.
And were you called to investigate an incident that occurred at Aultman Hospital that evening?
Yes.
Can you tell us what you learned when you arrived?
When I got in, I went to Aultman Hospital, spoke with Officer Jeffries. They had Mr. Fair in the cruiser who was alleged to have shot a technician at the hospital. At the time, Officer Jeffries stated that James was not in condition to speak at the time. He was laying down, kind of talking to himself. So I did go inside and I interviewed 2 witnesses that were involved, Mario Massey and Logan Bailey. They advised that they were in the room with Mr. Fair, who's having a mental health crisis. During this conversation with Mr. Crisis about a pink slip, there was a time when he grabbed for Logan's firearm that was in his holster. A struggle ensued, the firearm went off, and then they found that he had struck the technician, Brittany Kraft, who was just inside the doorway.
Just to clarify, you mentioned Amarion and Logan. Were those 2 individuals security guards with Aultman?
Yes.
And that was Logan Maley and Mario Massey?
Correct.
Did you learn whose firearm Mr. Fair was able to discharge?
Logan's firearm. Mr. Massey was not armed.
And can you tell us how that was able to happen?
The firearm was in the holster. Mr. Fair was alleged to have grabbed for it. The firearm was still in the holster when it discharged, so it's believed that he either partially pulled it from the holster or was able to slip his finger inside, pulling the trigger. And
Mr. Maley and Mr. Massey both indicated to you that Mr. Fair was trying to take that firearm, is that correct?
Correct.
And did you learn about the victim's injuries in this case?
Yes.
Could you tell the court about that?
The victim sustained a gunshot wound to, I believe, the right side of her body that lodged into the left hip bone.
And you mentioned she was a member of the Aultman staff,
Yes.
working in her capacity as an Aultman employee at this time.
Yes.
And you mentioned that you were not able to interview Mr. Fair. Was anyone else with the Canton Police able to on that evening?
Not that I'm aware of.
And that's because of his behavior that you previously mentioned?
Correct.
Were you able to collect video of this incident from Aultman Hospital?
Yes.
Would you recognize if I were to play it to you today?
Yes.
Your Honor, permission to play what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1.
Sure.
Do you recognize this video?
Yes, I do.
And on the upper left-hand side, what is the date and time there?
Friday, June 27, 2025 at 8:01 p.m.
What are we looking at here in this video?
This would be the red 1 room, which Mr. Fair is inside of. You can see his shadow. You do see Logan in the inside the doorway first, and then Amarion behind him, and then Bridget Kraft is at the computer to the left.
Going to play the video. Stopping the video at 50 seconds in. Can you describe what you observed?
You can see Mr. Fair pacing back and forth. After a few seconds, it looks like Logan then engages with Mr. Fair. I believe that that's the point that he grabbed the firearm. Mr. Massey also follows inside the room. They go off screen to the right where the struggle ensued. Ms. Kraft goes to the doorway and then she falls to the ground, apparently shot by the round.
And is it fair to say that the gunshot went off in close proximity to both Mr. Massey and Mr. Maley?
Yes.
And do you see Mr. Fair in the courtroom today?
I do.
Can you please just point to his location, describe an article of clothing?
Yeah, defense table, red jumpsuit.
May the record reflect you identify the defendant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Just one moment, please.
Sure.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any cross-examination?
Briefly, Your Honor.
Sure, yeah, sure.
Officer Johnson, Gino Burton on behalf of James. Just a few questions. My understanding is that Mr. Fair was pink split by the hospital staff that day, is that correct?
Correct.
And they'd been observing him in that red 1 room that we talked about for approximately 8 hours, is that fair to say?
I can't recall the time, but I do know that he was pink slipped in that.
Okay. And we're aware that during that time he was pacing in circles, he was banging his head off the wall, and he was acting erratically, is that fair to say?
Correct.
The incident that we can see on video, the 2 security officers, one in the front and then one in the back, and then the female nurse that was shot, is that fair to say?
Yes.
And one of the security officers had a weapon on him, is that fair to say?
Yes.
And there was a struggle when they went in to confront Mr. Fair about his behavior in the shop.
Correct.
At some point, Canton PD responded to Aultman Hospital, is that fair to say?
Yes.
And do you know how many officers in particular responded, ballpark?
I know that there were at least 3 involved. This happened when I was off shift. I got called in about while being off, so I don't know exactly who was called.
Was that part of your detective duties you were called in?
Yes.
Gotcha. And at some point, Mr. Fair was restrained, ankle restraints and stuff of that nature, is that fair to say?
Yes.
And he was actually placed in a cruiser, is that fair to say?
Yes.
And fair to say that the officer had made notes that he was acting erratically in the cruiser, he was banging his head off the divider, talking to himself, things of that nature, is that fair to say?
I am aware that he was talking to himself. I'm not aware of the other.
But he had to be restrained, physically restrained with restraints in order to
Yes.
get a handle of it.
Correct.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Any follow-up?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you for coming down today. Please be careful out there, watch your step. Are you calling another witness?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. And there is no, are you offering any exhibits or?
Offering State's Exhibit 1, which was the
Video.
surveillance video of Aultman Hospital.
Okay. Thank you. The defense, are you calling any witnesses?
None today based on the stipulation of Dr. DeVise's report, Your Honor.
Okay. Are any of you either going to give a closing argument? I'm familiar with the facts, but do you?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to just summarize what we've heard today.
Sure.
Thank you. The evidence clearly shows that on June 27, 2025, the defendant did commit the offense of aggravated robbery, a felony of the first degree. We heard testimony that Mr. Fair, in attempting to steal a firearm off of an armed security guard, did discharge that firearm. We also heard testimony that the firearm struck an Aultman employee, Brittany Kraft. We heard that she suffered a gunshot wound to her torso. Additionally, we heard testimony that the gunshot went off in close proximity to two other security guards, Logan Maley and Amarion Massey. This establishes the fact that Mr. Fair did knowingly attempt to cause serious physical harm to both security guards as well. We know that this incident occurred at Aultman Hospital in Stark County, Ohio, and the evidence clearly shows beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Fair committed the offenses of aggravated robbery and 2 counts of felonious assault. Thank you.
So in the end, what are you asking the judge to do today, just so I'm clear from the state's perspective?
Your Honor, we're asking that you find the defendant guilty. However, at the time of the commission of the offenses, we are stipulating that he committed these offenses because of a severe mental defect and did not understand the wrongfulness of his conduct.
But the report that you've stipulated to that I'll talk about indicates that in this particular case that he basically was insane at the time. Do you agree?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I just want to make sure I was clear. The defense, is there any statement you wanted to make?
No, not after reading through the report,
Yeah.
Your Honor, and talking to the court, we're in agreement with that.
Sure.
There. Thank you.
Well, the court listened to the evidence and reviewed the report, and I think it's important that I speak a little bit about the report because I always feel that these kind of cases, both the prosecution, the defense, and the judge, our hands are a little bit tied. It's obvious that Mr. Fair was having some mental issues that day and had a history of feeling that the Bible was speaking to him, that God was speaking to him and giving him delusions and things of that nature. From reading the report, it is clear to me that he was on certain medications that he was not getting, which is disturbing, and that he has a schizophrenic type of disorder as well. As I get to the point of we have to make a decision with the case, Dr. DeVise, who's a highly respected psychologist, and I want to read, without observing, he says, I do not believe that he had the ability to discern the wrongfulness of his actions during this time. And that's a pretty important thing for him to say. He also indicated, based on his examination, it is opinion within a reasonable degree of psychological certainty that he is a mentally ill offender. This represents a severe mental disease that I believe is of a schizoaffective variety. Now, as a judge, just reading the report and watching the video, it's obviously chilling to me. And this case troubles me because dedicated Aultman staff and security were seriously injured. This is obviously unacceptable to me. At the time, it appeared he had a defect because he was pink-slipped. One of the tragic parts of this case is that I think as a judge I'm legally handcuffed, as well as the prosecution, as to proceeding with any kind of prison sentence or finding him guilty because, to be honest, I don't have any legal authority based on the law. The bigger question I have is that I think we have to resolve at some point is what kind of meds does he need to be on? Why wasn't he given these meds? And how do we make sure in the future that he gets these meds so that we don't have this in the future? But based on the evidence in the stipulated report, I'm obligated by law to find him not guilty by reason of insanity. Which then puts us in a position now is where do we go from here? And we will have to do an order of placement that I believe Dr. DeVries will do. We generally do 30 days. Can I have a date in 30 days? March 2nd, let's say 2:30. That's the plan, but State of Ohio, I want to hear from you. Is there anything you want me to do additional or differently?
No, no.
Okay, anything from the defense?
I'll speak to Dr. DeVries and let him know the dates and what needs to be done.
Okay. Mr. Fair, do you have any questions about anything that went on today? I don't want you walking out of here feeling unsure or anything like that.
No.
Okay, that'll be all, everybody.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Michael, do you need to see me? Okay.
Your Honor,
Yes.
the report for Dr. DeVries, is that marked as court's exhibit?
Well, I can mark it as, you know, why don't we use yours because I wrote some things on highlights.
Okay.
We'll make that Court's Exhibit 1, but Abby will make a copy for you.
I got an extra, Judge.
Oh, okay. All right.
You have an
Thank you.
extra copy?